from beyond the arc, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. She scored 21 points in the game, so a huge effort for Megan McEwen. And for those just joining us, we welcome you in to the tank at the College of Staten Island. We should be up and running right now. We're taking a look back at the Dolphins' last game against the Centenary College Cyclones. We were mentioning the outstanding performance in that game by Megan McEwen, as I just mentioned. 45 minutes, including all of regulation and the 5-minute overtime. 21 points on 6 of 14, 2 of 6 from beyond the arc, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, a pair of rebounds and 5 assists from McEwen to go along with 4 steals as well. So a stat sheet stuffer was Megan McEwen in that game. She has been huge for the Dolphins all season long, and she's a big reason why CSI came away with the victory in that game.
Yeah, you know, Joe, it was a game that the Dolphins were out-rebounded 47-30, and they were able to use a lot of Cyclone turnovers in that game and able to come back right at the end. A great shot by Megan McEwen right before the buzzer, before going into overtime. And then, as we mentioned, the Dolphins able to come away at the end of the game and secure a victory. So now the Dolphins will come back, get ready to start conference play for both the men and the women, Joe. It will be 4 conference games coming up in the next 7 days, 2 games at home, 2 games on the road, so a lot to be determined here over the next week.
Well, you mentioned the rebounding in that game against Centenary, and in tonight's CUNYAC conference matchup, a big matchup for the Dolphins. They face the nation's leading rebounder on this York College women's roster. Magdagay DeSorsis is averaging a nation-leading 17.4 rebounds per game, and rebounds were a huge issue for the Dolphins in that game against the Cyclones. You just mentioned the disparity in rebounding during that matchup, and it's a big reason why that game remained close throughout all of regulation before the Dolphins finally pulled away in overtime. And really, for the majority of that second half, the Dolphins were trailing. They were trailing at halftime and really didn't make up the ground until late in the second half. I believe it was a 5 or 6 point deficit with only a couple of minutes to go in that one. So the Dolphins with some big shots and late game heroics, especially from Megan McEwen, as we already mentioned, able to close the gap and send that game to overtime. That shot by McEwen that we referenced went in with about 3 seconds left in the game, and the Cyclones nearly came back the other way and scored. So a lot of issues for the Dolphins in that game, one of them being rebounding, another being turnovers in that game for the Dolphins as well. Though they won the turnover battle, they were certainly sloppy with the basketball, and that's something that I'm sure head coach Nicole Sarcone wants to see them correct tonight.
Yeah, and, you know, a good opportunity here. This is a York team that, you know, the Dolphins have had a lot of success against as of late. It's a team that's been struggling a little bit, but, you know, you mentioned the sources coming in and, you know, leading the nation in rebounding. She's a freshman player, 6 feet tall, and the CUNYAC Rookie of the Week. So, you know, she's an interesting player. And, you know, again, you're looking for these other teams within the conference to continue to improve. So, you know, we're looking forward to a big matchup here tonight. First of 2, Joe, of course, as the men will follow approximately 30 minutes or so after the end of this game.
And the Dolphins will need to use their size tonight in order to win the battle on the boards, as we just mentioned, DeSorsis leading the nation in rebounding. But looking back to that Cyclones game one final time, something else that really hurt the Dolphins in that game, their players who possess size got into foul trouble. Rosa Perone ultimately fouled out of the game. Kayla Schmitter picked up 3 quick fouls after coming off the bench. So 2 of the Dolphins' biggest players out there on the floor and leading rebounders unable to stay out on the floor for the majority of that game. And that's something they'll need to fix tonight as well. And with only about a minute on the clock before they introduce starters and play the national anthem, it's time for a very quick look at York College. I think that clock may have been started a bit early as we came on the air at 5:15, but 5:23 is about right. So very quickly, we'll take a look over at York College and some of the leaders in scoring on that roster. Very quickly, leading the way for York and averaging 20 points a game is Shiana Rosher, averaging 20 a game on 40% shooting from beyond the arc, but that's only on 17 field goal attempts. So of the regulars who have played a lot of minutes, this is sorted by points per game. The leading scoring regular for them is Elma Hodzik. She is averaging 9.3 points per game on only 30% shooting. So York, not a very efficient team overall. I'll try and get the shooting numbers for them very quickly, see if I can pull that up in time. Their field goal percentage on the season shy of 30%. So York, not a team that shoots the basketball well. That should play into the hands of the Dolphins. Dolphins have also done a great job winning the turnover battle this season. They'll look to do that again in tonight's game as well. But rebounding is one area where York could really keep themselves in this one. We'll see if that's enough. And for a minute or two, Mike and I will step aside. They're about to play the national anthem and introduce the starting lineups. When we come back, Mike has the starting lineups for you. Exclusive NCAA Division III women's basketball coverage, tonight's CUNYAC doubleheader, exclusively on CSI Sportsnet.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you?
You know you do.
That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchooled.com.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up. They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
The starters are being introduced on the floor. And Mike, you have those starting lineups.
Thanks a lot, Joe. First for the visiting York Cardinals, it'll be number 10, Dana Jacome, number 11, Elma Hotzik, number 12, Macdasia DeSources, number 14, Shana Rocha, and number 21, Kayla Cabrera. For the home team visiting Dolphins, it will be number 1, Megan McEwen, number 5, Nicole and Bessie, number 13, Diana Tadero, number 24, Jacqueline Calley, and number 32, Rosa Perone. Dolphins coached by Nicole Sarcone. Nicole in her first season as the Dolphins coming into tonight's game with a record of 9-3 overall, having lost just one game since November 27th, that against Wagner College by a final score of 86-59.
We mentioned the Dolphins coming in winners of 6 of their last 7, now possess a record of 9-3 on the season overall, a perfect 3-0 in the CUNYAC Conference. They look to make that 4-0 with this victory tonight. York looks to draw even in the CUNYAC. Their record entering play tonight in the CUNYAC is 1 win and 2 defeats. They are 2-9 overall, so the Cardinals really struggling so far this season. We mentioned very briefly during our pregame, rebounding could favor the Cardinals in this one. The Dolphins need to make sure this game doesn't play out like their last against Centenary. They certainly struggled on the glass. They'll hope to avoid that in this one. A big part of it is Rosa Perone staying out of foul trouble and being in the middle to help the Dolphins grab some of those boards. She jumps for it there, and the tip goes to the Cardinals. Cabrera and Perone jumping, and bringing it up the floor is Elma Hodzik. This is Shayana Rosher, bounce pass inside and scooping it up nearly and off glass. It rattles out was Jacome, but on the offensive glass and an early offensive rebound, it's Kayla Cabrera. Putting it back up and in. Good bounce pass there from Perone to Tadaro. Dolphins wind up with that back off the block shot. Good feed there from McEwen to Perone. She can't finish. Fast-paced action early on. Good ball movement there by the Dolphins. Perone unable to finish inside. Here comes Hodzik. She'll pull it back out to the wing and give it up to Jacome. Jacome receives a screen, takes it inside before kicking back out. That's Hodzik. Shot no good. Rebound to Diana Tadaro. Dolphins push it up the floor. That's Callie. Back up to McEwen and inside to Perone. She faces a double team. Her shot no good. Offensive rebound, Diana Tadaro, and both teams with a putback early in this one.
Nice weak side rebound that time by Tadaro to tie the game up at 2. York coming out looking pretty good, handling the ball pretty well in their first couple of possessions.
2 early second chance points per side. Off of the offensive glass, this is Hodzik. Ball now with Rosher. Dribbles to her right, guarded by Callie. She picks up her dribble, 8 on the shot clock for Hodzik. And that will be traveling as she switched pivot feet, and she's bewildered by the call, Mike, but that was a clear travel.
Yeah, you know, she kind of shuffled the feet a little bit, got called for the travel, so Cardinals will turn the ball over. It'll be Dolphins with the basketball.
About a minute 40 into this one. Score is tied at 2. Megan McEwen gets a call from the bench. We'll see Dolphins half court set for the first time. They'll swing it around the perimeter. And a good deflection of that pass intended for Tadaro. Good defensive play there by Rosher.
Yeah, you know, we mentioned before, Joe, both CUNY players of the week on the floor. McEwen, player of the week for the Dolphins, and DeSorsis, the rookie of the week for the Cardinals.
Perrone's jump shot from the corner is stuffed. Here comes the Cardinals the other way. On the left wing, that is Hodzik. Gets a screen from Cabrera, takes it inside. She's blocked by Tadaro. Two teams exchanging blocks at each end of the floor. McEwen to Perrone. And Perrone finishes on the fast break. Dolphins take a 2-point lead.
So Rosa gets her first basket of the afternoon, and the Dolphins lead for the first time.
Attempted trap at half court there by the Dolphins. That pass from Hodzik inside to Cabrera. Good job there by the Cardinals escaping that trap at half court.
Nice interior pass that time to draw the foul, and that will lead to free throws here coming up as Perrone will get called for the foul, her first.
We'll do our best to keep you updated on the score and game clock, along with the shot clock. We're attempting to reset that now. .7:27 to go in this first quarter as the first free throw of the game for either team is hit by Kayla Cabrera. Brings the Cardinals back to within 1.
Perrone going to the bench early here for the Dolphins tonight.
Offensive rebound off the missed free throw. That rebound by Rosher. Dolphins and Cardinals fight for possession inside. As initially tied up was DeSorsis, and she lost the ball. Possession will go to, I believe, the Cardinals as a timeout is called by the Dolphins. 30-second timeout. Mike, what have you seen early from these two teams?
Well, you know, I know what head coach Nicole Sarcone has seen, and she's seen the York Cardinals be able to rebound the ball offensively on a couple of occasions, and not really liking that they've been able to do that. They really, on the last 2 possessions, Joe, had opportunities at the offensive rebounds. They got it on this possession. Last time they grabbed the ball, but Tadaro was able to rip the ball out of the Cardinals' player hand. So Dolphins need to do a little bit better rebounding the ball on the defensive end here in the early going.
Well, perhaps she was concerned maybe with a lack of hustle off the rebound on that missed free throw. Just speculation on my part. But if there's 2 things coaches can't stand, it's sloppy play that results in piling up turnovers and being out-hustled by the other side. So the Dolphins hope to put an end to that early in this one. Not saying that a lack of hustle was the case, but they did surrender the offensive board off the missed free throw before immediately forcing a turnover out of the timeout.
Yeah, so the Cardinals commit their second turnover here so far tonight.
Rebounds favor the Cardinals 5-3 right now, as McEwen takes it inside the arc and gives it up to Callie in the corner. Receives it back on the wing. Good feed inside to Tadaro. 1 extra pass to Callie for a left wing 3. No good. And Kayla Schmitter off the offensive glass puts it back up and in. But, Mike, you have to like that ball movement from the Dolphins as well.
Yeah, good ball movement. Good offensive rebound by Schmitter, who's able to finish.
And there's a 3-pointer by Shiana Rosher from the left wing. And that quickly ties things up at 6. Well, if York can knock down some outside shots and win the battle on the boards, they should be able to hang around in this game, but that's easier said than done against this Dolphins team as Megan McEwen answers with a right wing 3 of her own.
Yeah, you know, the Cardinals coming in just averaging over 48 points a game, but off to a pretty good start here offensively, Joe. so far tonight.
They certainly are. 6 points, less than 4 minutes into this first quarter. And we mentioned during the pregame rebounding, one area where the Dolphins were given trouble earlier this week. They hope that's not an issue in this one, but a team shooting 30%. The Cardinals, as Tadaro takes a wild shot on the fast break in a double team, but they certainly don't want to see a team coming in shooting at 30%, putting up a lot of points early in the game, and the Cardinals have to have some confidence with the way they played offensively early in this one. This is DeSorsis on the inside, and she had nowhere to go with it. A poor pass there, but Nicole and Bessie couldn't keep it in play. Deflects it over the baseline as we will have a Dolphins substitution. Brianna Rubisky enters for Diana Tadaro.
Yeah, Rubitsky played well in the game against Centenary. Joe, she came in the second half, played some good defense for the Dolphins, helping them come back in that game and get that big overtime win.
Fatimata Trowale enters the game for the Cardinals, as that's a lazy turnover there by York College. That one right through the hands of Rosher.
Yeah, Dolphins lead the turnover battle 3-0 so far here in the early going.
That's very similar to the way the game against the Cyclones started, as that Cali three-pointer is short. Her struggles seem to have carried over from that last game as well. And there's a reckless pass. Dolphins nearly came away with the steal. And traveling is called as the Cardinals, despite a decent offensive start, have still been very sloppy with the basketball.
And second-year head coach Anastasia Biddist pleading with the team to take care of the basketball a little bit better. Now get ready for their defensive stand.
9 to 6 our score as we approach 5 minutes remaining in the first. And McEwen attempts the wide-open jump shot off the back rim, no good. Offensive rebound to Nicole and Bessie.
Yeah, nice offensive rebound for Bessie. The Dolphins will reset.
Rebound 7-5 in favor of the Cardinals right now as Cali thought about the three. Instead, passes up the mid-range shot, and Schmitter can't finish inside. You have to think a pair of early misses may have affected Cali's confidence catching the ball there. Had the open mid-range shot, made the extra pass. As taking it inside there is Cabrera, grabs her own rebound and can't finish. Two teams fight for it, and the Dolphins will get possession.
Yeah, a nice job by the Cardinals rebounding the basketball on the offensive end. They have 3 so far here in the first quarter.
Well, the Cardinals need to shoot it well and need to win the rebounding battle. As Schmitter with a good pass there to Cali. And good hustle there by Cali to dive down onto the floor and grab the ball, but she's called for traveling.
Yeah, so the Dolphins turn the ball over for the first time tonight. Cardinals will inbound from underneath their basket.
Well, this first quarter playing out much like the first quarter in the game back earlier this week. Dolphins with a small lead approaching the final minutes of that first quarter against the Cyclones. Went on a nice run late, take an 8-point lead into the second, but from there, Centenary really seized control of that game. But the Cardinals' sloppy play continues. Turnovers piling up for York early in this one. That's number 7. And they certainly won't be able to hang around turning the ball over like that. Rubisky's pass for Schmitter partially deflected. The ball finds its way back to Rubisky in the corner, and she knocks down the three-pointer.
Big three-pointer for Rubisky as the Dolphins take their biggest lead of the game, and McEwen will draw the foul in the backcourt.
The Dolphins aggressively pursuing that inbounds pass. Only the second team foul for the Dolphins in this one. That's certainly something they don't want to be an issue, as putting this team on the line, giving away points in that manner, something they want to avoid, as another reckless turnover by the Cardinals, and they have no answer for the Dolphins' pressure.
Yeah, the Cardinals averaging 35 turnovers a game, Joe, coming into tonight's action. They'll struggle if they turn the ball over that many times against the Dolphins.
Well, it's astounding that a team averaging more turnovers than their percentage shooting has won 2 games. Not often that's the case, as we have a turnover by the Dolphins, and the Cardinals will get possession right back after turning it over themselves.
Yeah, so the Dolphins on a 6-0 run here. This game was tied at 6, and the Cardinals will now inbound off the Dolphin turnover.
Well, things got sloppy for the Dolphins in that last game against the Cyclones, and that really allowed the Cyclones to turn things around in that second quarter. Despite winning the turnover battle big, ultimately the Dolphins with some sloppy turnovers in those middle 2 quarters, and now 2 quick fouls over the last minute with 3:32 to go in the first quarter. Dolphins commit their 3rd team foul.
Sorry, Joe, as that foul will be on Robisky as Brianna pleading her case to no avail to the official.
Still working on that game clock and scoreboard for you. As with 3:30 to go in the first quarter, Dolphins lead is 12-6. Team fouls 3 for the Dolphins, still none for the Cardinals, but that's about all that's gone right for York over the last few minutes. And that 3-pointer way off by Rosher. Dolphins in transition turn it over as Robisky goes down, and Jackie Callie steals it right back and blows the layup. There's more than one way to give away points. The Dolphins gave away 2 right there with that missed layup, and coming back the other way and finishing inside is Aminata Sanya.
Big 4-point swing in the game, and that makes it a 4-point game.
Sanya on the board for the first time as the Dolphins swing it around the perimeter. Another open 3 in the corner for Robisky, and that rolls off the rim, no good. Rebound to DeSorsis inside. Cardinals looking to push. There's an opening in the corner for Trawale. Her 3-pointer no good. Rebound to Robisky.
Good job by Callie boxing out, allowing Robisky to grab the rebound.
And that will be necessary with DeSorsis always looming on the inside. Nation's leading rebounder, and that's Kayla Schmitter knocking down the mid-range shot.
Yeah.
Dolphins lead by 6 again.
Sorry, Joe. Kayla showing that nice mid-range jumper.
It looked like Rosher may have lifted her pivot foot on that one. Scramble for the loose ball, and jump ball is the call. We will head the other way.
Yeah, so that'll be another turnover now as the Dolphins will inbound the basketball. They have matched their biggest lead of the game. It's 6 points. They lead 14-8.
We mentioned that 35 turnover average for the Cardinals. They are on pace for more than 44 in this game. As that pass inside to Todaro is immediately kicked out to McEwen, and that's a friendly bounce for McEwen, but she'll take it.
Yeah, the Dolphin lead now up to 9, Joe, as the Cardinals have turned the ball over 11 times now.
That's McEwen's 2nd 3-pointer, and that 3-pointer way off the mark by Hodzik.
Dolphins with 8 of their 17 points off of those turnovers.
Shot inside, no good. A wild attempt there by Sanya. And jump ball is called, and this time we'll stay right here.
Dolphins in the middle of a 11-2 run, Joe, to open up their 17-8 lead.
And a 30-second timeout is called. So we'll stay right here. Mike, early in this game, Dolphins had some issues on the boards, but the way the Cardinals have turned it over, that has not been enough to propel them into this game in the first quarter. The Cardinals already trailing by 9. Things not looking good for York College. They've also shot it very poorly.
Yeah, you know, Joe, like you mentioned, 3 of 13 from the floor. That's just 23%. They're doing a good job rebounding the basketball as they've out-rebounded the Dolphins 14-9, but turning the ball over 11 times compared to just 4 for the Dolphins really makes things tough, Joe, because you're shooting a low percentage and not getting the ball up to the rim, and, you know, that really makes it a challenge. So the Cardinals need to find a way to stop turning the ball over to stay with the Dolphins here throughout 40 minutes.
And I think the simple answer to their turnover issues is find a way to deal with that Dolphin pressure off of the inbounds, and they haven't been able to do that so far. And that pressure has given them many issues as that one's floated up off the back rim. No good by Jacome, but there's another offensive board for the Cardinals. Offensive rebounds now 5-3 in favor of York College. Make it 6-3 with that last one. Corner 3 no good by Sierra. Offensive rebound goes to DeSorsis, but she had to throw it into the corner to avoid going out of bounds and turns it over. Todaro back out to Schmitter. Ball back with Megan McEwen, and the Dolphins will set up their half-court offense. Inside a minute to go in the first quarter. McEwen over to Callie. Wide open 3 for Callie, no good. Rebound to DeSorsis. Outlet pass up ahead to Christina Sierra, and she'll take the mid-range jump shot. That's off the mark. Dolphins have last shot if they want it. We're inside 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. This is Megan McEwen on the right wing, down to Rubisky in the corner. Callie inside to Todaro, and she finishes easily inside.
Good ball movement for the Dolphins. Cardinals with plenty of time to set up offensively.
You have to like the ball movement you've seen in this game from the Dolphins early on. Some great passing by the College of Staten Island in this first quarter. They have 6 assists early, as with under 2 seconds to go, floating it up and in was Elma Hodzik. And with that made basket, the Dolphins' lead is cut to 9. At the end of one, CSI leads 19-10. When we come back, the second quarter between the Dolphins and Cardinals. This is exclusive CUNYAC women's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet.
You make me wear my bike helmet.
You taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet.
Shoebox under the bed. Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
And we are back from the tank. Dolphins lead after 1 quarter is 9. And right before that made basket at the end of the quarter by the Cardinals, Mike, I was saying the Dolphins had 6 assists in that first quarter. Those 6 assists coming on 8 made field goals. So you have to like the ball movement for the Dolphins in that first quarter. Also shot it respectably well, including 43% from beyond the arc, 38% overall from the field.
Yeah, you know, Dolphins played well in that first quarter, Joe. They were able to go on a 13-2 run before the Cardinals were able to close with a basket just before the end of the quarter. So good start here for the Dolphins as we look out onto the floor. Christina Carmelengo out on the floor here for the Dolphins, Joe, to start the second quarter.
A strong first quarter for the College of Staten Island. Their lead entering the second is 9. And traveling is called, an early Dolphins turnover to open up the second quarter. But turnovers were the issue for the Cardinals in quarter number 1. They also shot it very poorly, though they do possess a 17-10 advantage on the rebounds, and that really kept them hanging around.
Yeah, you know, they've been able to grab a couple of rebounds inside on the offensive end, and, you know, that certainly helped them.
On the boards this season, the Dolphins are plus about 1, not even a full rebound advantage for the Dolphins this season on the glass. And after Camerlengo went down, that created an opening for Sonia, but she couldn't knock down the outside shot. Now taking another attempt from the top of the arc was Sierra, and yet another offensive rebound to the Cardinals results in a miss, as this is Jackie Callie pushing it up ahead to Diana Todaro, and she is fouled.
Yeah, Todaro streaking down the middle of the floor, able to take it to the basket in between 2 Cardinal defenders. Couldn't hit the shot, but she does draw the foul, and she will go to the free throw line for the Dolphins. The first free throw attempts for the Dolphins here tonight.
Diana Todaro to the line for 2, and her first free throw is good. And we will have a mass substitution for the Dolphins. Callie, Camerlengo, Schmitter, and Rubisky out. In Bessie, Bitar, Mooney, and McEwen in. So Megan McEwen gets about a 50-second breather to open up the second quarter after playing 45 minutes in the Dolphins' last game. And Rosa Perrone awaits Diana Todaro at the scorer's table. Todaro's second free throw no good. Rebound to DeSorsis. This is Elma Hodzik working against Nicole and Bessie. Her team trailing by 10. Kick out into the corner. Open 3 by Sierra is no good. And there's another offensive rebound for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that time it was Anita Sanga, the 5'8 freshman, keeping the ball alive. So you look at this Cardinal roster, Joe, a lot of talented young freshman players on this team. as the Cardinals look to rebuild the program. And
that foul on Diana Todaro. She will take a seat immediately after picking up that foul. And there's another quick Dolphins foul, and I said it during the first. Dolphins want to avoid foul trouble, don't want to put the Cardinals on the line, especially with how much they've struggled from the field so far. It's 4 of 21 right now for York College, 19%. They've connected on 1 of their 7 three-pointers.
So Batar picks up the foul, her first, team second.
Dolphins 8 of 21 from the field, as that will be a 5-second violation. At the last moment there, Hodzik tried to throw it off of Mbesi, and she completely missed. Aiming for the shins of Nicole Mbesi, couldn't connect from point-blank range, and that's another Cardinals turnover.
Yeah, so Dolphins with the ball, having doubled up the Cardinals 20-10. Dolphins in the middle of a 14-4 run.
Batar in the corner finds McEwen cutting down the middle of the lane, and McEwen puts it in off glass. Nice runner by Megan McEwen off the feed from Lena Batar.
She leads all scorers with 8.
Another strong offensive effort from McEwen brewing early in this one. And there's another Cardinals turnover, and it seems like every other possession they are turning the ball over, and if they're not turning it over, they're attempting 2 or 3 shots, grabbing a couple of offensive rebounds in the process, but failing to score.
Yeah, and you know, Hodzik looks like she has some good ability, Joe, some good ball handling skills. She's gotten called for a couple of turnovers and really didn't like either one, but she's got to get the ball to the ground a little bit quicker before taking that first step.
Yeah, just a little bit, Mike, as we saw her shuffle the feet before on an up and under move as well, attempting a jump shot off of that step through, but didn't keep that pivot foot anchor to the floor as Perrone bounced pass to Mbesi in the corner. Jump shot no good by Nicole Mbesi. Rebound to the Cardinals. And that's thrown away by the Cardinals, making it 15 turnovers in the game for York College. And with the way that they've shot it, they simply can't afford these turnovers. And, Mike, the problem seems to be getting worse and worse.
Yeah, and the Dolphins 10 points off of those 15 turnovers so far, Joe.
Dolphins are only going to need to shoot around 30% or better in this game, as Mbesi's called for a double dribble, and turnovers have certainly been an issue for her individually over the last couple of games. Saw her travel at least 3 or 4 times against the Cyclones and called for the double dribble there. But as I was saying, Mike, the Dolphins will only need to shoot about 25 or 30% in this game to win it, the way the Cardinals have turned the ball over. And after scoring 6 quick points in that first quarter, York has only scored 4 since. I believe it's been about 10 minutes since they scored points 5 and 6. And there's another turnover, this time Mbesi with the steal, but can't chase it down, though possession will stay with CSI.
Yeah, nice play that time by Mbesi, anticipating getting in the passing lane, stealing the ball, and now she'll inbound the basketball for the Dolphins.
As is the norm, the Dolphins have been great in the passing lane. That jump shot by Devin Mooney, her first attempt, no good. Cardinals did have a player up ahead of the field, but slowing down was Sierra before finishing the one-handed floater off glass.
And another one of those freshman players that we were talking about, Joe.
Good move there on the fast break by Sierra, as Rosa Perrone will head back to the free throw line.
Yeah, nice move by Perrone, darting across the lane and laying the ball up. She couldn't hit it, but she will draw the foul, and she'll go to the line now to shoot 2, as Amanama Sanga will pick up that personal for the Cardinals.
And Perrone's first free throw is good. And if I recall correctly, entering the Dolphins' last game, she was sub 50% from the line. See where she is right now. I know you have that number in front of you.
Yeah, 48%, Joe, coming into the game tonight.
Here she knocks down a pair, extending the Dolphins' lead back up to 12. Cardinals really starved for offense in this one as they nearly backcourt themselves, taking the ball across that center court line. And Chawale couldn't keep her footing, facing the defensive pressure from McEwen. And Megan McEwen, typical defensive pressure there along that sideline, down into the corner. Chawale with nowhere to go. Bessie thought about it for a moment, gives it up to McEwen for the wide open 3 on the right wing, no good. Rebound goes to Kayla Cabrera. Here come the Cardinals. This is Sonia. And I'm not sure if that's a wild shot attempt or a pass, but Sonia goes down and draws the foul. And she stays down for at least a few moments.
Yeah, that time it's going to be Perone picking up the foul. She went in and looked like she got a lot of ball on the play, Joe, but gets called for the personal. Her second, the team's third. So the Cardinals will go to the free throw line for shots. That'll be Sanga going to the line. She's coming in shooting 47% from the line, 8 of 17 for the Cardinals.
Her first free throw is good.
That's just the third Cardinal point here, Joe, so far in the second quarter.
Well, if you showed us the rebounding battle and Cardinals winning that battle 24-11 and 10-3 on the offensive glass, you might think this game was a little bit closer, but they've shot it so poorly from the field, and those are two big free throws the way things have gone for them shooting the basketball. 5 of 22 right now, but if you showed us that rebounding statistic, plus 13 for York, you would think they might be able to hang around through at least the first half, but their deficit right now is still double digits. It is 10 with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Scoring in the second quarter, Joe, 5-4 in favor of the Dolphins, so both teams struggling to score, and now the Dolphins are going to turn the ball over.
And if there's one thing I've noticed about this Dolphins team offensively, it's been a recurring theme through the first few games we've covered this season. They've been very prone to droughts offensively where they go with sub 5 points over an extended period and go scoreless for extended periods as well. And that's the case right now as we're over 4 minutes into the second quarter, and you said it, Mike, 5-4 in favor of CSI right now. Is good work there by Perone on the defensive glass, drawing the foul as she fought for that rebound. And
yeah, it looks like that foul will be on Cabrera. It will be. That'll be her first and the team's third. And, you know, Cabrera, another nice-looking freshman player, Joe, for these Cardinals. A lot of good freshman talent on the floor here tonight for York.
We'll see if that's enough in this one. Their deficit still 10 as a strong finish inside by Diana Tadaro through the contact. She will head to the line for one more.
Yeah, you know, Joe, Tadaro's played very well tonight. She's been all over the floor. She's got 7 points already here for the Dolphins as she takes that one strong to the basket and draws the foul. She'll go to the free throw line shooting 74% coming into the game tonight.
And her free throw is short, but that turns into a 4-point possession for the Dolphins as Kayla Schmitter follows it up and puts it back in. Here's a look at that finish by Tadaro once again. And she's certainly the Dolphins' best offensive threat from down low in the paint. Finishes strong around the rim each and every game. Also a factor on the boards as well. You see that right there. Can't forget about her trailing on the fast break as well. Always fills the lane correctly and creates an opening, usually for Megan McEwen to get her the basketball in transition for easy looks.
You know, like you mentioned, Joe, Tadaro with 3 rebounds already in this game for the Dolphins as they'll inbound with 17 to shoot.
Good step through there by Kayla Schmitter. That's how it's done. As Schmitter floats it up with one hand. Hardly looked like a conventional jump shot, and that will prompt a timeout from the Cardinals bench, our first full timeout of the game. So we'll step aside for a minute or two with this full timeout. When we come back, Dolphins possess a 16-point lead, 4:51 remaining in the first half.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
and I, during the break, we're talking strategy for York College. What can they do to get back into this game? Their deficit is 16.
Well, you know, they're really struggling with the turnovers, Joe. We've been mentioning it all game long. And, you know, they do have some talent and some size on the inside. So, you know, if you're the Cardinals, maybe you want to try to find a way to, you know, clear the ball, clear out the low post and try to get the ball inside. You know, they're doing a pretty nice job rebounding the basketball, but they're turning the ball over and they struggle with their shooting. And, you know, we mentioned the Dolphins had outscored the Cardinals only 5-4, but since in the second quarter, but since then the Dolphins go on a quick 6-0 run to open the lead back up to 16 points.
Well, just as I mentioned, the Dolphins being prone to those scoring droughts, they rattle off some quick points. And their lead is 16, very quickly down the line. Some stats for both sides. 5 of 24 from the field for York. Dolphins 12 of 29. Dolphins out shooting the Cardinals 41% to 21% in this first half. There's a nice high-quality look for the Cardinals, but that's not even close. And the Dolphins will look to run the other way. Talley nearly lost the handle, pulls it back out, and gives it up to Nicole and Bessie. Her mid-range jump shot, no good. Good offensive board there by Todaro, working down low against DeSorsis.
Yeah, that's a second offensive rebound of the game. The Cardinals knocked the ball out of bounds, but it'll remain Dolphin possession.
They're shooting now 40-20 in favor of the Dolphins. They've connected on 3 of their 9 three-pointers as well. As McEwen with another good look in the lane, and she floats it up with one hand off glass and in again.
That'll make McEwen the leading scorer of the game for both teams. She now has 10.
You said it, Mike. McEwen leads the way with 10 points. Cardinals 3 of 4 from the line. Dolphins 3 of 5. So both teams not visiting the charity stripe often, as that's an offensive foul on Shiana Rosher.
Yeah, that time Tadaro drawing the offensive foul on the play, as Rosher will pick up the foul, and that's going to be the 15th foul on the Cardinals, so the Dolphins will go to the line with any additional fouls with 3:51 remaining.
Well, I said it before, the Dolphins don't want to send the Cardinals to the line, but the Cardinals simply cannot afford to send the Dolphins to the line earlier than they need to. And as you said, Mike, any additional fouls will send the Dolphins to the line. Now leading by 18, CSI working the ball around the perimeter. This is Schmitter. Inside to Todaro. Tight window to put that one in as Todaro tries to save it around her back. She can't, and that's a Dolphins turnover. Here comes Hodzik. Hodzik brings it back up to the top of the arc, working against McEwen. Cardinals looking to set something up in the half court, but not great spacing here, as that one's nearly stolen by Mbesi. Instead, she commits the foul.
Yeah, she got a little bit of the ball and a little bit of the body and got called for her first personal of the game. That'll be the 4th team foul for the Dolphins, so the Cardinals will get to inbound the basketball here.
Cardinals to inbound in front of the Dolphins bench. They led for 51 seconds earlier in this game, back in the first quarter, have not led since, and have a lot of work to do to get back in this one, but it's really been all Dolphins over the last couple of minutes. CSI really separating themselves, and they hope to be able to cruise to the finish because they'll be right back at it in 2 days against Hunter. That pass inside for DeSorsis. She's able to reel it in and finish over 2 Dolphins, and that's 6 feet of size paying off right there.
Yeah, it was, and that was a nice pass by Hodzik as well to get the Cardinals the basket.
She put it just out of the reach of 2 Dolphins, and DeSorsis able to reel it in using the fingertips. This is Kayla Schmitter on the left baseline, and her jump shot no good, a bit too long. And I'm not sure there's much you can say about that turnover, Mike. Simply a lazy pass, and that's a turnover the Cardinals simply can't afford. But how many times have I said that, and how many times have they repeated the same mistake?
Yeah, you know, it's one thing to turn the ball over when you're forced. That time a wide-open passing lane, and pass just a little bit too far ahead.
And we're joined by Danny the Dolphin courtside as our mascot gets an early shout-out in this one. That's DeSorsis reeling in another rebound. She's lived up to the billing on the glass early in this game. And there's another Cardinals turnover as we took a look at the rebounding numbers for DeSorsis. That's number 8. And you have the turnover tally for York in front of you, Mike.
Yeah, that's going to be number 19 for the Cardinals. So they continue to turn the ball over. You see the Cardinals with the rebounding lead on your screen, 25-18. That's actually their 20th turnover, Joe.
Well, rebounding's about all that has gone right for the Cardinals. This is a corner three by Camerlengo, and that shot no good. That shot has been there for the Dolphins in this game. The Cardinals really not closing out in the corner. We saw Brianna Rubisky connect from there earlier. As McEwen nearly forcing the jump ball. Keeping it away from her was Rosher as the jump shot no good by Jacome. Rebound to the Dolphins. Here comes Megan McEwen. And she will be called for the offensive foul as she left her feet to make that pass.
Yeah, that time Megan going in just a little bit too far, Joe. Creating play contact with the Cardinal player. That's going to be the second personal on Megan. She stays out on the floor here, but she's got to be careful here, Joe, in the last minute 20.
Certainly don't want to get into foul trouble in this game if you're Megan McEwen. They might not need her the way this one's playing out as Camerlengo with another steal. That's another Cardinals turnover, and she finishes on the fast break with the right hand.
Nice play that time by Camerlengo for her first basket of the night.
Under a minute to go in this first half. Dolphins lead is 18. This is DeSorsis. Big size advantage over McEwen, and she takes the jump shot over McEwen but can't connect. And that ball just a bit too long for Camerlengo.
Nice play by Callie to grab that offensive rebound, but the pass a little bit too far ahead as you have an opportunity to look at that replay, and Camerlengo taking the ball down the lane and driving it in. And for Christina, that's her first basket of the game.
Well, Camerlengo nearly made it 4 straight. The pass from McEwen just a little bit too long. As carrying is the call, and Jacome is baffled, but that's another Cardinals turnover, and there appears to be no remedy for this issue in sight as the Dolphins' lead continues to grow.
Yeah, and you know, we mentioned, Joe, they were averaging just over 35 a game. They're at 21 now with just over 30 seconds remaining in the first half.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say they will exceed their average in this one, but that's due in part to the Dolphins' defense as well. It's not just sloppy play by the Cardinals, and Diana Todaro with a nice finish once again. Todaro's had a good first half.
Yeah, she has, Joe. She now has 9 points for the Dolphins.
Inside of 10 seconds to go, and there's another steal for Camerlengo. Tried to go around the back with it. Under 3 to play, and Dolphins won't get a shot up as they tried to work it up the floor instead of heaving one from beyond half court. But I'm not sure they'll regret not attempting that heave as the Dolphins' lead is 20 points at the end of the first half. We'll see if we are going to have a guest at halftime. I'm not sure we will, with the Dolphins leading by 20, but we'll wait just a few moments, Mike. Very quick wrap-up of the first half. What are your takeaways?
Yeah, you know, Joe, the Cardinals were able to cut the Dolphin lead down to 10, 24-14, with about just over 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in that second quarter. Dolphins, they'll go on a 12-2 run to close out the half and go into halftime with a commanding 20-point lead.
Well, we said it during the pregame. The Dolphins would need to be very poor on the glass and shoot it very poorly in order to keep this game close. The Cardinals were going to need a dominant performance on the boards. They did get that, but they didn't shoot the ball the way they had to, and the Dolphins simply shot it far too well for York to stay in this one. So with the halftime contest about to go on, a $15,000 shot challenge at center court, we'll step aside and take a break for halftime. When Mike and I come back, it's a 20-point Dolphin lead. Start of the third when we return here on CSI Sportsnet. Well, we will indeed have a guest. It will be Christina Passaturo joining us prior to the start of our halftime break.
Take you, Jamie, to be my wife.
Sorry. Those headphones play tricks on just about everyone who comes over here. I think you might have it on backwards, but that should be good enough. I'll turn the volume up. Chrissy, your team played extremely well in the first half. What did you see from them that you liked?
They're moving the ball really well on offense. You know, we worked on our zone offenses a lot this week in preparation, so we're happy with the ball movement, and they're moving up and down the court well.
Cardinals really dominating on the boards. What do you tell your team at halftime to try and get that battle on the glass a little bit closer?
They got to box out. That's a big thing for us. You know, we do a lot of drills with it, so that was that quick 5 in, 5 out movement with the no box out, so hopefully that'll get them to move.
Yeah, you know, Christina, you mentioned the ball movement. The team has 11 assists on the first 15 baskets. Is that something you were looking to do here going into the game tonight?
Definitely. Assist is one of our team goals on the year, a certain amount of assists. So 11's a big number for us, especially in a half. So we're really happy with that.
All right, lead for the Dolphins at halftime is 20 points. Chrissy, thank you for joining us. When we come back, we will have coverage of the third quarter and the remainder of the second half as the Dolphins will take a 36-16 lead into the third quarter. This is exclusive CUNYAC basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet.
Here she comes. I, Krista, take you, Jamie, to be my wife.
The ceremony was a blast.
It was just like the surreal moment of my dreams are coming true.
When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said, "Oh, I apologize. She won't be taking you in as a client."
We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to.
And sitting there in that small, cold room, I wanted to cry, just thinking, what did we bring this kid into?
We're simply asking to treat our family the same way that you would treat any family.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
So we were walking to school. At the corner, we waited for the traffic light. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart,
want cheese pizza,
but
like at Luigi's.
sometimes her mind wanders.
They have this video game there, and Kate's got the high score. We should have a sleepover. Maybe I should pack my pajamas.
I remember saying, Laura? Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
When we finally got there,
she gave me a hug goodbye.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope
bad
I don't
day
have another
at
bad day at
school
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Be right back.
Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I got a crick in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex them. walk it on. But if you throw me love off the way some more.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
I remember, Dad, you and Mom got this car with a hatchback. I said, you know, I'd be happy to give you the money to get a really great car. And he said, well, no, this works for me. I says, why? Because it's the right height to put the meals in. Dad, tell me when you first got an inkling about Meals on Wheels.
There was kind of an abandoned house. That's where we got started with Meals on Wheels. We kind of filled a need for people as they got older.
It's the human interaction that probably fed them much more than the food.
Oh, yeah. When you can see somebody else benefiting by your life in some way, you can't help but feel good about it, I think.
Well, the reason I'm involved, Dad, is because you are, and you're so inspiring. How you've impacted people is enormous.
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
Your dad is an adventure full of special moments.
A cruise? Surprise!
Unexpected moments.
I got this.
And even awkward moments.
Okay, Dad, thank you.
But every moment you spend with your kids, even the smallest moments, can make the biggest impact on your child's life. So take a moment to be a dad today.
You make me wear my bike helmet.
Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
And to follow the swimming rules.
You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer? Here in the garage.
Closet?
Shoebox under the bed. Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
And we are back from the tank. About 4.5 minutes to go before the start of the second half between the Dolphins and Cardinals. Mike, a lot of issues for the Cardinals to correct in this one, and we spoke a lot about those, but the Dolphins have done many things well, one of which Christina Passaturo spoke about with us during the halftime break. The ball movement was very good. Did you see that as well, and what else did the Dolphins do exceptionally well in that first half?
Yeah, you know, Joe, you look at the stats, the Dolphins, 11 assists on their 15 baskets. Always a good number. You look at their turnovers, they turned the ball over just 10 times, forced 23 turnovers on the part of the Cardinals. And the Cardinals really struggling to shoot from the field, Joe, shooting just over 21%. Dolphins at 41% for the game, including 3 of 10 from the three-point line. Cardinals have just hit 1 of their first 7 shots. And, you know, for the Cardinals to have any chance at all, Joe, of trying to come back in this game, they're going to have to find a way to stop turning the ball over and get a little bit better high percentage shots. You look at the scoring in the game, the Dolphins outscoring York 19-10 in that first quarter, 17-6 in the second quarter to go into the third quarter, leading by 20 as you see those halftime stats up on your screen.
Well, really, what you see on the scoreboard is illustrated by the halftime stats. The Dolphins outshot the Cardinals by over 20%, also outshot them by double from beyond the arc in terms of shooting percentage. And really across the board, outside of the rebounding, it was all Dolphins in the first half. A strong effort from CSI in this one. We saw rebounding issues plague them in their last game against the Cyclones, but the Cyclones shot the ball far better than the Cardinals have in this game. And a lot of free throws taken in that game as well between the Dolphins and the Cyclones. Not nearly as many free throws in this one. And we said it before, the Dolphins don't want to send the Cardinals to the line and give away points from the charity stripe. They haven't done that. The Dolphins were in the bonus late in that second quarter, didn't capitalize on it and get to the line too much down the stretch of quarter number 2, but they simply didn't need those free throw attempts the way that first half went. They shot the ball extremely well, played their high-pressure defense that we've seen from them time and time again over the last couple of years, and the Cardinals simply had no answer for that defensive pressure, whether it be in the half court or off of the inbounds pass, and York is taking the floor to our right as we speak. About 2 minutes to go before the start of the second half, and we spoke about it during the pregame. Several things York needed to go their way. They had to shoot the ball well in this game. They haven't done that. They needed to dominate on the glass. They did win the rebounding battle, but a +8 in that first half. Not necessarily a dominant performance, so the Dolphins did an admirable job in that respect. Do you see any way York can at least make this an interesting game going into the fourth quarter?
Yeah, you know, they can, Joe, if they could, again, figure out a way to stop the turnovers, especially the unforced ones, and try to get percentage shots inside the paint. You know, look at their scoring in that first half, as limited as it was, and, you know, the Cardinals have 10 of their 16 points in the paint. So clearly the solution for the Cardinals is to try to get the ball inside and, you know, try to create an opportunity to use their size inside. And, you know, for the Cardinals, this is also, you know, good experience for their players, because you could see some good talent on this Cardinal team, especially with their freshman players. So, you know, although they are struggling a little bit here tonight, they do have show some promise heading into the second half of the CUNYAC season.
Well, as we're about to get started in the second half, we'll take a look at some individual stats from the first half. And for the College of Staten Island, leading the way in scoring was Megan McEwen with 10 points, an efficient 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. So McEwen continuing to lead the way offensively for CSI. Also had 3 rebounds and an assist in that first half as well. Diana Todaro, the Dolphins' second leading scorer, with 9. Kayla Schmitter right behind her with 8. Todaro an efficient 4 of 7 from the field, and Schmitter was 4 of 6. Between the two of them, they contributed 8 rebounds, 5 for Todaro and 3 for Schmitter. So good efforts from the Dolphins in that first half. Rosa Perone also contributed 4 points, and going down the line, the rest of the Dolphins scores included Brianna Rubisky with 3, Christina Camerlengo with a pair as well. As you get a look at my halftime snack off for just a brief moment, but we did get a look at it. My halftime snack, and these are some of the freshest pretzels we've had all year, Mike. I have to say I was very pleased when I was handed this pretzel. Well worth the $2, maybe even worth a trip here to the tank if you want to come out and catch the men's game. We have some hot, soft pretzels up at the concession stand. Can't say that every time, though. We're typically on top of replenishing the inventory at the CSI Snack Shack upstairs. So we're about to get started in the second half. I'll have to wait just a little bit longer to enjoy the rest of my pretzel. The Dolphins' lead is 20 points at the start of the third quarter, and the Cardinals will inbound the ball right in front of us. So you'll get one more look at us before the start of the second half. And we are underway from the tank. Half number 2 between the Dolphins and Cardinals. CUNYAC conference matchup, the first of a pair tonight from the College of Staten Island. The men's matchup looming about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. And there's a way to start the second half as Aminata Sanya takes it inside and finishes through the contact. She'll head to the line for one more.
Yeah, and, you know, if you're the Cardinals, that's what you want to do. You want to pound the ball inside and take your chances. And that time, Todaro will pick up her second personal foul, and Sonia will go to the free throw line to attempt to complete the three-point play.
And that's in and out, but DeSorsis with the offensive rebound, then puts back her own miss. And that's a way to start the half. If you're the Cardinals, a 4-point possession to open up the third quarter.
Yeah, and that time Todaro never moves from the baseline. I'm not sure she saw the free throw go up into the air.
That one tipped, and the Cardinals nearly coming away with an early second half steal. And you can't ask for a much better start to the second half if you are York College. 4 points on your first possession, or at least speaking in that manner, as really it was an offensive rebound leading to a second possession, but 4 quick points for the Cardinals nonetheless, and nearly forced the Dolphins turnover, tipping that pass, and I believe traveling was just called.
Yeah, 3-second violation, Joe. So Cardinals start off getting 4 points on their first possession, and now the Dolphins turn it over.
And York answers with a turnover of their own, and Cardinals can't seem to get out of their own way. Got off to a strong start. 4 quick points, force the Dolphins turnover, come right back and give the ball away themselves.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Tadero, though, to force that turnover, as now the ball knocked out of bounds, so the Dolphins to inbound.
Take a quick look at that Cardinals turnover tally from the first half. It was 23. If they could stay under 15 turnovers in the second half, they could certainly close in on that deficit at halftime. It was a 20-point deficit, but maybe they could cut that down 5 or 10 points if they take care of the basketball, but they've shown no signs that they're going to be able to do that. The Dolphins' defensive pressure has just been too much for them to handle, and there's Rosa Perrone in the passing lane, but Megan McEwen couldn't reel it in as Perrone tipped it up ahead, and McEwen tried to chase it down but couldn't get there.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Rosa, but the pass a little bit too far ahead, so it'll be Cardinal basketball.
About a minute and a half into the third quarter. Dolphins lead is 16 as working on the right wing is Sonia against Callie. Cardinals swing it around the perimeter to Hodzik and puts her back to the basket and gets stripped. As McEwen will take it all the way but can't finish. Callie with the offensive board, and that's not even close. But McEwen grabs another offensive rebound for the Dolphins and floats it in.
Yeah, so on the third attempt, McEwen able to lay that one in. Callie's shooting struggles continue. She's 0 of 5 as the Cardinals turn it over once again. Turnover number 27 for York.
Well, the Cardinals could cut their turnovers drastically if they cut out the turnovers that occur before half court. They've turned the ball over before crossing the half court line numerous times in this game, and that's putting it mildly. It has just been a sloppy effort for the Cardinals so far in this game. Credit goes to the Dolphins for their defensive pressure, but this is the kind of pressure the Dolphins put on opposing offenses just about every game. It's nothing out of the ordinary that the Cardinals are seeing, and they had to be prepared for it, but it certainly doesn't look that way as McEwen attempts a 3 from the right wing. It's no good. Rebound to Diana Tadaro, who is fouled on the putback attempt.
Yeah, Tadaro continuing to play well for the Dolphins, grabs another offensive rebound. That's going to be her third of the game, Joe, as she draws the foul and will now go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Well, I mentioned Tadaro, biggest interior threat the Dolphins have offensively and on the glass as well. Certainly crashes hard for every rebound when she's out there on the floor.
She's now just 1 of 4 from the line so far here tonight, though.
That's the blemish on her stat line right now, 25% from the line. And we'll increase it to 40 with that make, but for Tadaro now, 10 points on 4 of 7 from the field to go along with 6 rebounds, 3 on the offensive glass, as you just mentioned, a pair of assists and a pair of steals as well. And there's another Dolphins steal, but they throw it away, and Cardinals will get possession right back.
Yeah, that time the Dolphins a little sloppy with the basketball. And, you know, Joe, the Cardinals have not scored since they had that 4-point play to start the third quarter.
And I'm not sure if I would be correct to say it, but I think I just might be. They may have turned it over every possession since, Mike.
Yeah, they've turned it over a lot, no doubt about it, as the count continues to rise.
I don't think they've attempted more than the 3 shots than they did on that first possession. I'll double check right now, but I don't believe the Cardinals have attempted a 4th shot. They haven't, so at the very least they haven't gotten a shot up since those 4 points scored early in the quarter. As there's another turnover, and I'm not sure what they're doing right now, Mike. I'm sorry, but they're not getting the ball across half court. They're not helping out the ball handler, and they're just forcing passes into Dolphin double teams and awaiting the recipient of that pass for 2 Dolphins. If that pass is caught, we probably have another jump ball.
Yeah, you know, Joe, the Cardinals have turned the ball over 6 times here in the third quarter. The Dolphins have turned it over 4 themselves. So we've had 10 turnovers here in the first 2 minutes and 45 seconds, Joe.
it's been an ugly start to the third for York College. And after scoring 4 quick points, maybe it looked as if things were going to turn around, but it's back to the same issues that plagued them in the first half, and they don't seem to have the fix right now. Maybe a halftime speech could have turned things around. Doesn't appear as if that will be the case, and I'm not sure there's enough time left for them to make the adjustment, trailing by 19 the way they've shot the ball, but we've seen crazier things happen here at the Tank, so stay tuned as the Dolphins with some good ball movement once again, but Perone can't finish the floater, and you have to love what you've seen from the Dolphins at the offensive end of the floor in this game. They've moved the ball extremely well, some great passing by the College of Staten Island. They've also shot it well in this game, though that hasn't been the case in the third quarter so far.
Yeah, you know, both teams struggling. York with 4 points here in the third quarter, Dolphins with 3.
I did mention it in the first half. The Dolphins have been prone to droughts at the offensive end of the floor. I've also noticed they typically start quarters slowly and then pick it up as the quarter progresses. Didn't start the game very well in this one, nor did they against the Cyclones earlier this week, as there's a three-pointer from Shauna Rosher.
Rosher with both three-pointers for the Cardinals here tonight as the Dolphins turn the ball over once again. They've played sloppily here, Joe, in this third quarter so far.
They have, and they really played a sloppy game against the Cyclones as well, though. The Cyclones turned the ball over more than CSI did in that one, and you get a look at the three-point shooting. Neither team shooting it well from beyond the arc right now as McEwen dives to the floor, and I think a foul was called. It was. That foul charged to Diana Jacome. That's her second.
Yeah, so both teams with 2 team fouls apiece here in this third quarter.
Dolphins lead right now matches their halftime lead, 16 points. As they work it inside to Todaro, back out to Callie, and you can tell Callie wants to attempt that three-pointer, but she has struggled shooting it, and the extra pass pays off there as she feeds it into Rosa Perone, who then makes another pass inside to Diana Todaro, who now has a team-leading 12 points. And Dolphins nearly forced another turnover there. That rolls over the far sideline into the Cardinals bench, which is where they will inbound it, but both McEwen and Todaro with 12 points in the game. As you get a look at the turnover tally, it's 31 now for York, 15 for CSI, as the Cardinals look to work it inside, and those entry passes simply haven't been there, and it's DeSorsis with the offensive rebound and putback.
Yeah, that time DeSorsis able to lay it up and in. She's rebounded the basketball well, but hasn't shot very much here tonight.
Well, DeSorsis rebounding it well. Obviously not a surprise, leading the nation in rebounding, as Dolphins with some ugly-looking turnovers to start this third quarter.
And Kayla Schmidt is going to come in, and she's going to replace Todaro. Todaro having a very active night once again for the Dolphins.
This is Chawale looking for somewhere to go with it. And I can't believe the setup for the Cardinals trying to move the ball up the floor. They just don't have the spacing they need to get the ball up the floor, and Chawale with a good take to the rim, nearly finished off of glass, and a foul as 2 players fought for that rebound, and that foul on Macdeja DeSorsis.
Nice tough defensive rebound by Perone to draw the foul on DeSorsis.
Perone has done good work inside on the boards, especially boxing out. It's only resulted in a pair of rebounds, but I think she's drawn 2 or 3 fouls fighting for position inside and attempting to grab those rebounds at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, and that time Schmidt fighting for possession with Tawala, and she'll pick up the foul, and the Dolphins will inbound as Perone can't finish on the shot.
Well, that one missed from point-blank range, as declining to take it inside and finish with Sierra, and attempting another three-pointer is Rosher. That ball rolls over the baseline, and we will stay at this end of the floor.
Yeah, bodies flying all over the place as DeSorsis and Perone battling for the rebound. It'll be last touched by the Dolphins as Robitsky will check in, and she'll replace Rosa Perone.
Chawala with the left wing jump shot. That's a good-looking jump shot there. Cardinals have shot the ball with confidence. When they've been open, they have not hesitated to pull the trigger, but unfortunately that confidence hasn't translated into efficiency. As McEwen feeds to Rybicki, into the cutting Schmitter, and that's knocked over the baseline by Nicole and Bessie.
You know, don't look now, Joe, but the Cardinals have cut this Dolphin lead down to 14, and with a basket on this possession, will find themselves right back in the game.
Well, CSI has allowed York to hang around. It's been a sloppy third quarter for the Dolphins, both shooting it and turning the ball over, but the Cardinals throw it away before reaching half court once again, and Megan McEwen knocks down that short jump shot, and the Cardinals simply cannot get back into this game, moving the ball up the floor the way they've attempted to do so. As there's a pass over to Sierra, and that missed badly. Make that Cabrera. My mistake, as we have a foul called against the Cardinals. Make that a jump ball. Possession to the Dolphins. This is McEwen wide open and is called for traveling. The fans wanted Megan to shoot it, and I'm sure she wishes that she had.
We have an opportunity to see that McEwen basket that opened the Dolphin lead back up to 16 after the Cardinals had cut it down to 14.
I'm sure the Dolphins coaching staff would like to see their team extend this lead beyond 20 points so they could rest some of their regulars in the fourth quarter. As there's another Cardinals offensive rebound, and this time putting it back up and in is Kayla Cabrera. But Cardinals are a +2 in this third quarter, despite the turnovers, as McEwen's three-pointer is no good. Outlet pass by DeSorsis up to Troala, and she will take it right at Kayla Schmitter, but too much of a size advantage there for Schmitter as we have another jump ball, and we will stay right here. Devin Mooney will check in for the Dolphins, replacing Nicole and Bessie. Well, if you wanted a blueprint for success, and you're York College in this game, there's a wide open layup missed by Cabrera. Dolphins fell asleep on that inbounds pass, and we will have another foul charge to the Dolphins. This time it's Mooney who just checked in. But Mike, if you wanted a blueprint for what you needed to do in this game and you're the Cardinals, look no further than the third quarter. The Dolphins have shot very poorly, 3 of 11. The Cardinals shooting 6 of 14, and they're still winning the rebound battle in this third quarter, 12-5. And we have a full timeout on the floor. When we come back, it's a 14-point Dolphins lead with 2:56 to go in the third. Cardinals with a 2-point advantage in this third quarter. We'll see if they can build on that when we return.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
And we are back from the tank. And Mike, you just brought it to my attention during the break. At halftime, York had 16, as in scored 16 points. They are a +6 in this third quarter, not a +2, as I just mentioned. Again, York was trailing 36-16 at halftime. I thought the deficit was 16. York had scored 16, so the Dolphins at half were up 20. Now in this third quarter, the Dolphins' lead has been cut to 14. And if you're the Dolphins, Mike, you have to be very disappointed with how this third quarter has gone so far. York extending their advantage on the boards. They've shot it well, 6 of 14. And if you're the Dolphins, you need to shoot better than 3 of 11 as you get a look at some of our baseball coaches. Mike Morrow up there on the bridge taking in the action, and doesn't look like he's appreciating what he sees. A stern look on his face. Dolphins having a rough third quarter. But Mike, if you're CSI, what do you need to change now to get that 20-point lead back?
Well, you know, first of all, Joe, the Dolphins are really turning the ball over a lot here. They've turned it over 7 times already in this third quarter after only turning it over 10 times for the game. And York shooting much better and getting the ball inside. So Dolphins just need to tighten up a little bit and get on track offensively.
See if they can get back on track at that end of the floor here. As Schmitter picks up her dribble, bounce pass inside to McEwen, who nearly finished that one through traffic, grabs the rebound from the floor. 2 players diving down after that ball, Troala and Schmitter, but possession arrow will favor, it looks like the Dolphins over at the scorer's table. The official initially pointed in the direction of York, but possession will stay with the Dolphins.
That will, is Dolphins missing their only 3-point attempts here in the third quarter, now 0 for 3.
That last attempt by Camerlengo, and York has a chance to cut it down to 12 once again. 2:20 to go in the third. This is Trewalla. Surveying the floor, 10 on the shot clock. Picks up her dribble, throws it inside to DeSorsis. 5 on the shot clock. York going nowhere. Ball in the corner with Sonia. 1 on the shot clock. And that is a shot clock violation. And if you're York, that is about as bad of a possession as you could put together. Good defense by the Dolphins, keeping the ball about 40 feet away.
Yeah, it was good defense that time by the Dolphins, and they needed to make a defensive stand as their lead has been cut down to 14. They've led by as many as 20, so the Dolphins looking to get on track here offensively.
Well, Dolphins with only 7 points in the quarter, as we mentioned, coming out of the timeout. That pass wheeled in by Schmitter, works her way in toward the basket and then turns it over. Good defensive play there by Hodzik, getting in the passing lane. Another chance for York to cut it down to 12. They remain a +6 in this third quarter. Trewalla working against Camerlengo. Trewalla drives and draws the foul.
Yeah, and that time Trewalla able to get the ball inside and draw the foul. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. And Joe, as the Dolphins have now turned the ball over 8 times here in this third quarter.
The Dolphins coaching staff has to be very disappointed with this third quarter. We were singing the praises of this team at halftime, but just hasn't gone well for them in quarter number 3, as the first free throw from Trewalla is no good.
She's coming in shooting 64% from the free throw line for the Cardinals.
And Mike, when this Dolphins team is clicking at both ends of the floor, they look very strong out there. But when they go through these offensive droughts and fits of sloppy passing, they can look very bad. And right now is one of those stretches where they played very poorly. The deficit for York is now 13 as Camerlengo puts it on the floor, passes inside to Schmitter. Good ball movement once again by the Dolphins, finding McEwen in the corner, but she throws up an air ball. An uncharacteristic air ball from Megan McEwen as Trewalla takes it all the way, and drawing a foul on the rebound was Kayla Cabrera, and the Cardinals will head back to the free throw line for a pair, with that being the 5th Dolphins team foul.
And, you know, that time the Dolphins got a 3-point attempt from McEwen from the outside. It was an air ball. The Dolphins now 0 of 5 from the 3-point line here in the third quarter. York coming back quickly, and Cabrera will go to the free throw line. She could cut the lead down to 11, but she misses the first.
Well, York simply needs their free throws. When those opportunities present themselves, they need to connect from the line. So far in this game, the Cardinals have shot 4 of 8 from the charity stripe, so not many free throws for either team. The Dolphins 4 of 7. This is to cut the lead down to 12, and Cabrera able to do just that. Inside of a minute to go in the third, York has trimmed the Dolphins' lead down from 20 to 12 in quarter number 3. Dolphins swing it around the perimeter. This is Elena DeMontro, who just checked in for the first time, as she gives it back to Megan McEwen and receives it right back. And that's a big shot from Elena DeMontro right off the bench, breaking the Cardinals' run.
Yeah, and, you know, she hasn't gotten much playing time, but a big basket there, the basket the Dolphins really needed to open the lead back to 14.
And the way things were going for CSI, that's a huge shot, as DeSorsis draws a foul inside, and Kayla Schmitter will be charged with the foul.
Yeah, and for Kayla, that's going to be her first personal. Dolphins over the limit. It's a shooting foul anyway, so DeSorsis will get to go to the free throw line here to shoot 2. She's only a 33% free throw shooter, Joe, but she hits first.
You wouldn't be able to tell by that first free throw. That first one was perfect. That one, not so much, as another offensive rebound for the Cardinals, and Cabrera goes back up with it, can't finish, DeSorsis reeled it in, and she is called for traveling.
Yeah, but that was a beautiful offensive rebound that time by the Cardinals. They ended up turning the ball over, but they nearly got themselves another possession, down 13 once again.
Cardinals a plus 10 on the offensive glass as Christina Camerlengo knocks down the three-pointer just before the buzzer sounds. That is the end of the third quarter. And after a rough third quarter, the Dolphins come out of it leading by 16. Our score entering the fourth. CSI 48, York 32. The final quarter of play, and this our first of two from the tank tonight when we return on CSI Sportsnet.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi. You mean you were driving? Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework. He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Enjoying my pretzel as we are back on the air. Just in time I wrapped up at least some of that pretzel, and Dolphins will look to wrap this game up with a victory. They are leading by 16 points entering the fourth quarter. But Mike, that third quarter, the Cardinals showed us quite a bit. They were able to hang with this Dolphins team. Not only hang with them, but outplay them in quarter number 3. They were a +4.
Yeah, you know, they outscored the Dolphins by 4 points, and it took the Dolphins, Carmelengo's three-pointer at the buzzer for the Dolphins to go into the fourth quarter up 16.
I'll pull up some of the numbers from that third quarter when we have a break in the action as DeSorsis can't finish inside, and that's a big rebound by Kayla Schmitter, wrestling that ball away from Kayla Cabrera. McEwen over to DeMontro. Schmitter out to Camerlengo. Open right wing three is short, but the rebound is to Kayla Schmitter, and she draws contact on the putback attempt. So she will head to the line for 2.
Yeah, nice offensive rebound that time by Schmitter. For Schmitter, it's her third offensive rebound of the game, and she'll have an opportunity to go to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
And that first free throw attempt by Schmitter rattles out, and I promised some numbers from that third quarter. The Dolphins were outscored 16-12 in quarter number 3. Both teams with 16 attempts from the field. The Cardinals hit 6 of theirs, the Dolphins 5, as Schmitter goes to the line and misses both. But the Cardinals on the glass in that third quarter, a +11, 17-6 in favor of York College. They also attempted 7 free throws to the Dolphins 2, but the Cardinals only hit 3 of those 7 free throws. The Dolphins hit 1 of their 2 attempts from the line, as that one is stuffed by Schmitter, and Rosher has nowhere to go with it, loses the ball, and Megan McEwen comes away with it. Runs through the contact, no whistle, as the bounce pass to Tadaro finds its way right back to McEwen, and that's a perfectly executed fast break by the Dolphins.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pass by Tadaro as she picks up her 3rd assist of the night. Dolphins open the lead back to 18.
And that's exactly what I was talking about before, Mike. When this team is clicking at both ends of the floor, they can look so good. When they play that stifling defense and run the floor in transition, their passing is on point. Even in the half court, they pass the ball very well as they've shot far fewer three-pointers. And there's an attempt from outside by DeMontre with a foot on the line. So that's a 2-point basket for Elena DeMontre, who's quickly 2 of 2 since coming off the bench.
Yeah, 2 big baskets for DeMontre since checking into the game.
There's another steal by the Dolphins. We'll see how this transition opportunity plays out. Good ball movement once again. A wide open shot for Megan McEwen is short. But this is the Dolphins team that we saw last year, a team that came away with a lot of steals, ran the floor. The difference between this year's team and last year's team is that a lot of the time, last year's team would look to shoot from the outside in the half court. This team moves the ball around a lot more in the half court, looking to play inside out. And that has worked out well for them so far this year, as that was a nice move, stepping through and finishing off glass by Shiana Rosher, and she will head to the line for one more.
Yeah, the Dolphins had opened their lead back up to 20, which matched their biggest lead of the game, but a nice play by Rosher to drive it in the lane as McEwen will pick up her 3rd personal.
And you got to look at that Dolphins fast break from a couple of possessions ago, and that's tremendous fast break passing and running of the floor by the Dolphins. And usually it's Diana Tadaro trailing on the fast break. That time it was Megan McEwen filling the lane perfectly, and she was the beneficiary of the assist, scoring inside. Usually she's the one dishing those out, as Camerlengo's 3-pointer from the left wing this time is off, and she nearly comes away with a steal off her own miss.
Nice play that time by Christina off the miss. Going for the steal. She knocks it out of bounds, so the Cardinals will inbound. York's going to make a run. They need to get some baskets.
And with the rate at which they're turning the ball over in this 4th quarter, I'm not sure a run is in the cards right now, and no pun intended there, as the Cardinals' deficit is now 17 points. Dolphins to inbound after another quick York turnover. You look at what York did in the 3rd quarter, and they showed they could hang with this Dolphins team, but CSI has turned it up another level in this 4th quarter. Perhaps they were a bit perturbed by the way that 3rd quarter played out. I'm sure the coaching staff wasn't happy about it, and I don't doubt they let their team know it on the bench, as Schmitter goes up in traffic and draws the foul.
Yeah, nice physical move that time by Schmitter, as she will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. She missed her first 2 free throws of the game just a few minutes ago.
And Schmitter's first attempt from the line, no good once again. She's now 0 of 3 from the line after missing a pair before, as you mentioned. And as a team, the Dolphins now 4 of 10 on their free throw attempts. Here's attempt number 11, and Schmitter connects for the first time in 4 tries. Dolphins back up by 18. And there's another Cardinals turnover. Simply nowhere for Chihuahua to go with it, as McEwen is called for traveling, and she can't believe it.
Yeah, you know, she kind of came to a complete stop. It looked pretty good from here. Official out on the floor disagrees, so the Dolphins will turn the ball over. Cardinals trying to make a last run here at the Dolphins, Joe.
Well, the Cardinals would need to score at a rate unprecedented in this game, as they've put up 35 points on the scoreboard through 3 quarters plus. They'll need at least 19 more. And the Dolphins offense seems to be back on track, so they'll probably need more than that 19 to come away with a victory in this one, and time is simply running out on them. As the Dolphins will inbound, and we hit 7 minutes to play. DeMontre, 3-point attempt is good, and Elena DeMontre has come off the bench and shot the ball extremely well.
Yeah, and you know, she might have hit one of the biggest shots of the game, Joe, when the Cardinals really closed that Dolphin deficit down, and you know, she's played very well since checking into the game for the Dolphins, really providing an offensive spark.
Ball down into the corner for Sonia, and an offensive foul is called, so we will head back the other way, and she might have been open in the corner.
Yeah, I think she stepped in from out of bounds, Joe, so Cardinals commit their 40th turnover of the evening.
Good call, Mike. As Camerlengo has it left wing, and she'll knock down the 3, and that's a shot that Christina's not shy about taking when it's given to her, and if she has an opening, she doesn't hesitate to pull it.
Yeah, she's now 2 of 5 from the 3-point line here tonight.
Dolphins lead now a game-high 24 points. It looks as if the door is all but closed on York, with yet another turnover right there.
Yeah, York was able to get the deficit down to as little as 13, Joe, on a couple of occasions, but that was as close as they were able to get it.
Well, there's a look at that last three by Camerlengo, and there's another wide open three from Megan McEwen. And as a shooter, those last two shot attempts are what you'd call disrespectful as a shooter. Camerlengo wide open on that left wing, and McEwen wide open up at the top of the arc. And timeout has been called on the floor. It is a full timeout, so we'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's the Dolphins leading by 27 points with 6:01 to play in the fourth.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And we're back from the tank as you get a look at the CSI cheerleaders entertaining the crowd during the most recent timeout. Dolphins up 27 in the fourth, Mike. What has changed from the third?
Well, you know, the Dolphins are outscoring the Cardinals here 14-3 in this fourth quarter. Dolphins 3 of 5 from the three-point line. That's 60%. And, you know, they've been able to really open up their lead. They've started to hit their three-point shots. Carol Mingo is playing well, and, you know, really Alana DeMontro, who really didn't get much run for the Dolphins the last few games, checking in late in the third quarter and, you know, really playing well for this CSI Dolphin team, a real offensive spark for the Dolphins. Alana 3 of 3 from the field here, 1 of 1 from the three-point line, and grabbing an assist as well. So playing very well. She checked into the game with the Dolphins up just 13 and the lead dwindling, and really helped turn things around.
She certainly did, Mike, and that has to feel good for DeMontro coming off the bench and shooting the ball extremely well, helping keep her team out in front by a comfortable margin as that's over the baseline and the Cardinals will inbound. And I'm going to pull up those individual numbers for DeMontro. I don't believe she's missed a shot. I think she's 3 of 3 from the field, and that would be right. 3 of 3 for DeMontro so far with 7 points, 7 big points, helping the Dolphins build up a big lead once again. As checking in for the first time, or at least for the first time since 40 seconds in the first half, was Christina DiNardo, and she finishes a tough hook shot in the middle of the lane. Tough attempt there as DeMontro is open again from the corner. This time no good. That's her first miss. McEwen mid-range pull-up off the offensive board by Schmitter, and McEwen knocks it down.
And the Dolphins, if given an assist on that play, and I think they should be, Joe, now have 21 assists on 26 baskets.
Well, you took the thought right out of my mind, Mike. I was about to check the assist numbers for the Dolphins as they have been piling them up in this one. The ball movement's been excellent for CSI throughout this game. That's been probably the biggest bright spot for CSI in this matchup with the Cardinals, and DiNardo is now 2 of 2 on those mid-range hooks, and I'm not sure McEwen is much of a match for her defensively as Megan simply can't contest that type of shot, and that's a tough shot nonetheless.
Yeah, DiNardo, a junior from Queens, New York, getting a couple of baskets here in the fourth quarter. 4:55 remaining. Dolphins in control of this one by 25.
Free throw attempt by DiNardo is no good off the back rim. Rebound Camerlengo. Checking in for the first time was Lola Plamenko at that last horn. And she will quickly attempt her first shot and knock it down. Hot shooting off the bench for the Dolphins tonight.
Yeah, nice job that time as the Dolphins continue to open up their lead here as Plamenko gets her first basket of the game, and now we'll have a call on the outside against the Dolphins. That's going to be on Rubinski for Brianna. That's going to be her second personal, second team foul for the Dolphins here in this fourth quarter. Not a lot of fouls called here in the game this afternoon, Joe. A well-officiated game.
We certainly saw the fouls pile up in our last broadcast. Both teams frequenting the free throw line in that one. As a foul on the entry pass and catch. Foul, I believe, was charged to Schmitter. It was. Cardinals inbound along the baseline. Fresh shot clock. Good pass there from Chihuahua to DeSources, who finishes inside.
And if you're the Cardinals, that's a play that you want to look at and try to find a way to replicate.
Right wing three for Camerlengo, and they are giving her a ton of space out there, and she does not hesitate to take that shot when it's there, and I think that's 3 of 6 for her now, Mike.
It is, Joe, and two in a row.
Cardinals give it up to DiNardo, and that's an air ball.
Dolphins with already 22 points in this fourth quarter, Joe. Their high total for a quarter here tonight.
That one thrown away by the Dolphins, so possession right back to York as Rosa Perron will check in for Kayla Schmitter.
Did you see that Carolengo, three-pointer sky into the basket?
Just for reference, sorry, Mike. Okay. In that last game, the Dolphins attempted 25 free throws, and the Cyclones also attempted 25 free throws. We've been a far cry from that. That's a good take to the rim by Elma Hodzik, and nice finish in transition. We've seen some good plays by the Cardinals scattered throughout this game, but unfortunately those have been overshadowed by turnovers for the majority of the 4 quarters in this one.
Cardinals with 28 of their 43 points in the paint, Joe, and gives you a good idea of what they need to do to be successful.
Well, they haven't been hesitant to shoot jump shots. Unfortunately, they have not been efficient on those attempts, as Camerlengo will bring it back out and throw it into Perron. And Perron has struggled from inside during this game.
Yeah, Rosa just 1 of 6 from the field here tonight, Joe.
Well, she has done good work at the other end of the floor, played very physical underneath, fighting for every rebound and boxing out aggressively, attempting to keep Mac DeSources off of the glass. And Camerlengo knocks down another 3. She's 4 of 7 from beyond the arc now, and it seems like Christina's found her stroke.
Yeah, and you know, she doesn't hesitate. She's played with a lot of confidence, stepping on the floor for the first time as a Dolphin, as she now has 14 as the Cardinals come right back with a 3-pointer of their own.
And yes, that was off of glass. Not sure if Christina Sierra called glass, but it counts all the same as we have a foul at the other end of the floor. Here's a look. This is that last fast break basket by Elma Hodzik. Brianna Rybicki to inbound, right to our left. We approach 2 minutes remaining in the game. Of course, this is the first of 2, and there's another wide open 3. This time Lola Plamenco can't connect. But the men are up next, approximately 30 minutes following the conclusion of this one. So it looks like we're on track for a tip-off somewhere between 7:40 and 7:45. But we will have an official time when we come back from break. This is Chawala inside. Can't finish the scoop layup in traffic, and I think she banged knees with another player down there as that pass is just out of the reach of Rybicki. Dolphins can't take advantage of a 5-on-4, and CSI will empty the bench once again. It's Tracy Simon, Lena Batar, and Devin Mooney replacing Rosa Perron, Christina Camerlengo, who shot the ball extremely well on this one, and Brianna Rybicki.
Yeah, so Dolphins with some substitutions here, as they're going to go on and win their 4th CUNYAC game here tonight, Joe, and up their record to 10-3 overall.
Dolphins remain a perfect 4-0 in the CUNYAC. With this defeat, York will drop to 1-3, and overall the Cardinals will fall to 2-9.
You know, Joe, we mentioned this is the first of 4 games over the next 7 days for the Lady Dolphins. This Saturday, they'll be at home against Hunter College. On Monday, they'll travel to Brooklyn to play the Bulldogs. And then this Wednesday, it'll be out to the Bronx to face Lehman College. So lots of CUNYAC basketball coming up for this women's team as they're off to a good start here, winning their first game. They'll have 4 in the next 7.
That's a pair of big matchups upcoming against Hunter and Brooklyn. Both teams still unbeaten in the CUNYAC. Hunter unbeaten in 3 games. The Bulldogs have only played 1. And Lehman really struggling this year. Their lone win came against Medgar Evers by 1 point. I believe we were on the air while that game was being played, Mike. I think it was back on December 4th as they work it inside to Simon. And Simon draws the foul.
Nice move that time As Simon went up strong, Tracy couldn't hit the shot, but she draws the foul, and she will go to the free throw line as she looks for her first points here of the night. This will be her first free throws as a CSI Dolphin.
Well, Tracy, the only Dolphin who has me outsized. She stands at 6'4", has played sporadic minutes so far this season. Most of them coming late in games. You mentioned that was her first free throw attempt of the year. And number 2 for Simon, no good. Here come the Cardinals. Under a minute to play. Hodzik swings it over around the perimeter, and not hesitating there was Rosher, who nearly put it in off glass. There's another rebound for DeSorsis, but she is blocked by Simon. And I'm not sure she was ready for the 6'4" Tracy Simon waiting behind her on that putback attempt. She threw the ball right into the outstretched arm of Tracy.
Yeah, so Simon will go right back to the free throw line, Joe, as she looks to hit her first free throw as a CSI Dolphin. She's 0 for 2.
She'll have 2 more attempts at it right here. Nice ovation for Simon, who knocks down our first free throw.
Sorry, Joe, that's Tracy's first point as a CSI Dolphin.
Dolphins hope it will be the first of many to come, as her second free throw is no good, but Tracy gets on the board for the first time as a Dolphin, under 40 seconds to play. And the Cardinals bench will call a timeout. And I was about to say, Mike, you mentioned Elma Hodzik's handle, and I saw it right there. A nice move there around the back right before the timeout was called. But she definitely has the ability to handle the basketball, but at times, as a team, York has simply been too sloppy with it.
Yeah, and, you know, Joe, you look up at the scoreboard and you see that Cardinals down 74-46, but, you know, that's not really a true reflection about how the Cardinals played here today, and you can really see a lot of potential in this Cardinals squad. They have players with talent. They have players with a little bit of size. They need to figure out a way to stop turning the ball over and to work the ball inside, of course, which isn't as easy to do as it sounds. But this Cardinal team, not as far away as they've been in the past, and really much more talented than the teams we've seen from the Cardinals over the last few years.
Well, Mac DeSorsis gives them a nice building block. Of course,
the ceremony was a blast.
Glass. We saw her ability to
it
put
was
the ball
just
back
like
up in it as well.
Moment of my
she had
dreams
those
are coming true.
opportunities, and off of the miss there by Rosher.
When we found
Cardinals
out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were
We've
just sitting there waiting for
Cabrera
the
do good work on the
pediatrician. She said,
offensive
"Oh, I
glass as well,
apologize.
and
She
fought
won't be taking
for
you
every
in
rebound
as a
that
client."
has come in her direction as DeMontro is tied up and jump ball is called.
You know, Joe,
We are a
DeMontro
lesbian
only
couple,
played
but
in
she's
6
just a
games
baby.
coming into the game
She's the one
tonight,
denying
averaging
the
just
service
2.7 points in those games.
Sitting there in that small,
in those
cold
games,
room,
but had
I
a
wanted
huge
to
game for
cry,
the Dolphins
just
here
thinking,
tonight.
what did we bring this
Shooting
kid
3
into?
of 4 from the field in 11 minutes, including 1 of 1 from the 3-point line, along with a rebound and a couple of assists. So big effort from Alana, and really came through for the Dolphins when they needed her here tonight. And then Carolengo with a big fourth quarter for the Dolphins as well.
And Carolengo shot the ball extremely well in this game. Of course, Elena DeMontro came on and hit a big shot to break a Cardinals run. York hasn't given up despite the shot clock being turned off, but CSI will get it beyond half court. Cardinals will not foul. Dolphins will not shoot. And CSI will close this one out with a 28-point victory. The men's game still to come, but I think we may have a guest post-game. We'll see who they send our way for the post-game interview. But, Mike, Dolphins really played one poor quarter in this one. For the rest of the game, CSI was on point. They shot the ball pretty well in this game, especially in the first half. We're up over 40% in half number 1. Actually increased that to 43% in the second half. Dolphins 10 of 23 from beyond the arc. That has to be among the most three-point attempts they've taken this season, and I'm sure among the most they've hit as well. You have to like the way they shot it from the outside, and we said it earlier just prior to halftime, the ball movement in this game was excellent as well. Really a complete effort from CSI, as we'll have Christina Camerlengo join us on CSI Sportsnet for our post-game interview. All right, Christina, thanks for joining us. A great effort from you off the bench in this one, 14 points. Your shot appeared to be on point from beyond the arc. What did you see in the Cardinals' defense that allowed you to go 4 of 7 from three-point range?
I just feel like they weren't coming out on the shots a lot of the time. Like, they wanted to guard the middle, so they were leaving the perimeter open. And good thing today, a lot of our shots were falling. So
Coming in the game off the bench, what is your mindset as a player? You don't always know exactly when you're coming into the game. Sometimes you're coming into a trailing effort, and in this game, fortunately, your team was out in front. Does your mindset change depending on the game, or do you just have a mindset of always being ready?
My mindset is just go in, play as hard as I can, just work really hard so I can just show my coach, that even if I am on the bench, that I'll still give my hardest.
Christina, with the start of the new year, the team has only conference games remaining. You'll have 3 conference games coming up in the next 6 days. What can we expect from the team over the next week?
Well, we work extremely hard, so I think that we're prepared for the games, and I'm really excited to see how my team's going to do.
All right, Christina, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the victory. Strong effort from you out there today. We look forward to Saturday's matchup with Hunter.
Thank you.
That is Christina Camerlengo joining us for the first time this year. Dolphins win big over the Cardinals. Our final score, CSI 74, York 46. Very quickly, some final stats. Dolphins outshoot the Cardinals 43-30 in this game. I mentioned the 10 of 23 beyond the arc for the Dolphins. They shot 44% from three-point range. Cardinals at about 21.5 from the line. Dolphins 6 of 15. Cardinals 7 of 15. Rebounding, the big bright spot for York. They out-rebounded the Dolphins 55-37. But it wasn't enough as the Cardinals turned the ball over in this game 42 times, doubling up the Dolphins' turnover total. CSI with 21 turnovers of their own. And off the bench, CSI got 37 points in this one. A lot of them, 14 of them to be exact, coming from our guest, Christina Camerlengo. A big effort from her and from this Dolphins team in this game as they remain perfect in the CUNYAC Conference heading into this Saturday's matchup with the Hawks of Hunter College. And on your screen, you see the men of York and CSI taking the court. Coming up next, men's basketball. Mike Babusky has the call. College of Staten Island takes on York College in men's basketball. Another CUNYAC matchup on deck when we return on CSI Sportsnet.